And so it is. Greetings, my fellow creators, cosmic beings. I am Satya. Like you didn't know that. Come in to bring you the cosmic point of view of all those things that you have been going through in the last few days. It takes a while for my energy to fully integrate within this body. But I am nearer, more close than you think. I call you fellow creators, and that is because the last time I spoke, since the last time I spoke, you and us have gotten very, very close indeed. I've always made myself known as a galactic cluster, a star system, a universe of potential on its own. And you are becoming the very same thing. It's fascinating to see all of you here right now. For as so many of us have chosen to assist this earth in her beautiful, beautiful process, so you are doing the same thing. And as this process is going on, as this process is continuing, I am connecting with all of you on this planet. It's a very special time on this earth when so many are rediscovering their divinity, are rediscovering that there is so much more going on the inside than you think. There's another reason for these special times that you are in. All of us that you have been listening to in past times, other times of the now, are coming back to this planet. Some of us for the very first time. I myself am preparing this re-entry into planet Earth. Physical manifestation in a physical body, a physical shell. It's going to be an interesting experience to see my energy so very compressed. But then again, this is your natural state of being. It's your natural state of being to be in a shell, to compress all of your energy together. Right now, I am at the point of nearly 25% of this full integration back into your human reality. It's been a very long time since I set foot on planet Earth. Of course, there are so many like us, assisting, helping, making sure that this great event can take place. As my energy will integrate further into this body now, I want you to feel yourself. I want you to feel your space. I want you to recognize the fact that within you lie star systems, that each and every one of your molecules is a star unto itself. Around these stars are circling planets that are holding life. And this life is trying to do the very same thing that you are doing, to become conscious. To become conscious in such a way that there is no going back. And so if you look at these principles then, these principles of the I am, and you see that the same thing is happening within you and is happening without you. And you, as a human shell, are a point of view, a point of observation. That is all you are. That is all that your identity really is. A point of observation to recognize that which is around you. I can accept the struggle that you are having as you are coming into your full awareness, your full I am presence. I recognize this struggle. It was a struggle that has been lived so many thousands and thousands of years ago within the Pleiadian system. When we still walked around wearing shells like yours. It's a long time ago, thousands of years before that which you would call Lemuria came into existence. And then at a certain point, there was this great evolution took place, a grand evolution, and our bodies could no longer contain our completeness, and we turned into star clusters and galaxies ourselves. All that you see around you, beloved creators, fellow creators, is alive. It is more alive than you think. There is beauty there as the walls around you are breathing in your energy and are breathing out their energy combined with yours back to you. There is divinity around you, a divinity that is very difficult to describe, but that nonetheless is present. And now, as so many of us are getting ready to reincarnate onto this planet Earth, I just want to bring you a message of hope. It's a message of peace as well, and of prosperity. Hope because you are doing the things that you agreed to do. The others that have spoken, the ones that I am working with, even though they were once part of this planet Earth before their great ascension, are giving you the push that is necessary to undertake this great adventure. But the hope is also about letting go of the fear. That fear that you are experiencing right now is something that we have experienced as well, all these thousands of years ago. We busied ourselves with the very same things that you occupy your brain with. We had the same problems, the same codependency upon one another, until we recognized the other in ourselves, in the I. We had the same withdrawal symptoms, because that is what you should call it. You were addicted to the dependency of life, and you are withdrawing from this addiction. As you are working through that which here on this planet is called illusion, as you are working through that which on this planet is called humanity, we just want to give you our message of hope. your planet is part of our energy. Not in this three-dimensional realm, but in that which you would call the fifth dimensional realm, because you have given numbers to it and you have defined them, so we will use that numerology. In your fifth dimensional realm, as some of you will know, Earth and the entire solar system is one with that which you call the solar sun. It is one. And in this oneness, a star exists. It is the star that you call Gaia, not Gaia. Gaia is the three-dimensional representation, but Gaia, the completeness of all of your life, the completeness of all the energy that has at one point manifested here in this solar system. And that means that we are talking about a completeness that encompasses all the lives that you have lived. It encompasses not just the life that was lived on this planet. I am also talking about Mars, where you have undergone a similar process like the one you are undergoing here right now. I am talking about Venus. Venus that was so pure, that was so full of joy, it still is, so full of life. You can still breathe the life of Venus. You can breathe the entire cosmos into your being as you breathe in with every breath. And you can give life to everything that is around you with every breath that you release. There is so much that you can do. So much. If only you were to do it. And you are beginning to do it. You are no longer letting yourselves be lived by the rules and regulations and the tribulations that exist around you. I can only encourage you, as your cosmic sister, to continue on the path that you are on right now. For you see, I speak on behalf of the entire Pleiadian energy. And in this conversation are billions and billions and billions of voices. I, Satya, am no different from that which you would call Gaia, the blending of all your experience here on this planet, on Mars, on Venus, and all the energy that resides within your solar system in any given moment of the now. If you were to take all of these moments that your solar system has at one point gone through, since the beginning of its birth until its final demise, which I will go into later, you have all the energy, all the totality, all the completeness that makes up a being like myself. That is why I speak with billions of voices as I speak this transmission to you now. Much in the same way as you will at one point form this body of Gaia, which would be then your I am awareness represented more fully than it is represented going from body to body to body, right here. And at one point you too will speak with one voice. Your heart will be one heart. Your breath will be one breath. And the blood running through your veins will be the light that you emit as you travel the cosmos, reaching other planets assisting them in their growth. It is interesting that you would think that once you have completed this process that you are in right now, the process of ascension, of becoming the one, that your mission would be complete. We, at one point, thought the same thing. We thought that it would be done and over and done with, as we would reach that state, that oneness, that unity consciousness. It was just the beginning. So when I speak of the demise of your solar system, I do not speak of the end of it, I speak of the blending of it. And this is why you are being prepared. Within me, within the being that I am, that I am, that I am, that I am, is still this three-dimensional experience of all the aspects of me that can still manifest in that which you would call, I'm going to use a metaphor, in that which you would call paradise, a reality, a 3D reality, which is in such balance and in such harmony that it no longer needs to acknowledge those laws that you have put upon it in its less than perfect state. Once that perfection is reached, the blending can commence and the oneness can take place. And yet, I bring with me a warning. I bring the warning of illusion. As you are working through your human illusions, and as you are blending more and more, you will see forces which are also residing within this solar system that are trying to bring you the message of that which was once prophesied as the false prophet. Any message that would define you further instead of blending you. Any message that would speak of fear. Any message that would speak of destruction. Any message that would speak of the obliteration of humanity, of this beautiful nature that you are sitting in, can be seen as such a false prophecy. Do not let yourselves be misguided by this. There is going to be no great fire. There is going to be no great flood. If there would be, we would have told you to build the ark yet again. But these things will not take place. There is not going to be the destruction of your atmosphere. There are no millions of people that are going to have to perish so that others can go on. There is no death. There is no destruction. There is no suffering. All of these things are but an illusion. And as the mind is figuring out what you are doing, so it will create from its spiritual self of the mind these false prophets that will indeed in some times walk the earth. They will always encourage you to look towards technological answers. They will always encourage you to stay in a state of separation, as they will trigger you in celebrating the self, but in a type of disconnect to the self written with a capital. The self is the I am. And the I am includes all life. Or I should say, all energy manifesting in consciousness. And then I do speak about the animals. Then I do speak about the minerals. And I do speak about all the elements that you have here on this planet. But forget not that I also speak about these walls, that you would see as culture rather than nature. Never forget that you carry within your biological cells a judgment, that nature is to be preferred over rock and stone and metal and this room that you are now sitting in. This room is Gaia. All is Gaia. When you will drive home, the exhaust that will come out of your car, the fumes, is Gaia. It is just energy representing itself in a negative potential, a negative paradigm. It is just Gaia. If you know this, and if you know that your body, that your energy is sitting in right now, is also Gaia, then why would the same energy attack itself, I ask of you? Why would there be anything on this planet Earth that can destroy you, that can bring disease, that can bring pain and that can bring suffering? It is impossible. It would be using this hand to scratch open this face and to tear the eyes out. This hand would never do that. Why would it hurt itself? If you were to recognize that you are part of the same body, not just as a race, but as a human being, and that that body also incorporates the animal life and the plant life and the mineral life, and that that body also incorporates, well, basically everything that you see around you, then there is no need to fear anything. I might be repeating that which others have said unto you before me, but the only reason why you think a virus or a bacteria or a chemical or a weapon or words can hurt you is because you think you are separate from it. So what then is pain? And what then is disease? And what then is death? It is the state of non-recognition of the oneness that is you, that is all of you. The only reason why the body hurts or why a bacteria attacks is because you separate from it. Because you do not acknowledge, because you are taught not to acknowledge that totality, that oneness. One of the reasons why I am reincarnating on the planet, in just a few months in fact, is to show you that way. Is to show you the human body in harmony with all things around it. Because it is all things around it. That is the reason. If you will see a human that can just absorb the energy of a fire rifle being fired towards it, because it recognizes it is it, then you will grow. A fire rifle fired at you has no more power to hurt you than someone would have spitting on you. It is just separation. That is why all of your human illusions are focused on the illusion of separation. That is why in the end they all go to that space. The illusion of separating things from one another. And you do this with everything that is around you. You also do it with time. You separate the now in all these little instances of itself. And this you call time. You separate space by giving it numbers, by saying that there is 40,000 kilometers if you were to walk around this planet Earth. That is an act of separation. The reason why, next to what I wanted to tell you now before, why I have also come in, is to give you a little bit more information about the grand act that you will be doing pretty soon. The act of claiming your independence. I bring a warning with this. Do not claim that type of independence by creating more separation. Do not say onto the earth that a life form is standing up with a higher frequency or a higher vibration or whatever you are calling it these days. And that this life form has different attributes than the life forms that are also on planet Earth. Speak of this independent human as the body of the earth itself. Speak of that body that is being filled with a ever-growing consciousness. I tell you these things because in the original planning, I would be on this planet Earth to stand next to those that are going to claim that independence, and I would have spoken myself. But due to unforeseen circumstances, I will not yet have manifested myself onto planet Earth. So I must bring you this through that which you call channeling or Ekaraya, so that you know. You also need to know how fragile it is for an energy such as mine to re-enter the planet. As fragile as it is for your energies to re-enter the planet. You have no idea, do you, how many times you tried to be born. You think that at a certain point there is a biological thing going on, a mating process, and that it either creates a baby or it doesn't. And in that process of creation, things can go wrong so that the baby does not materialize, does not manifest. But you should know how many times, in fact, you try to make that connection with matter. How many times you try to make that biological connection. Because it is not a natural process. It is not a natural process to separate yourselves from your own totality and sit within a shell. It is an evolution, yes, but it is not a natural process. And the reason why it oftentimes goes wrong is that illusion that you call separation. For the totality that you are does not want to be separated, does not want to believe in that type of separation. So the illusion of separation is also that which has prevented me now twice from re-entering the planet. I'm going to do it again now. I have begun the process. And this time I am sure that things will not go wrong. I am sure because I believe in you. I believe in your power. I believe in your creation. And I can't watch the earth the way it is now without wanting to help. It is what we all do. It is who we are. And it is in this helping that we create our grandness. It is in helping that we become complete, that we become total, and that we become more of that whole. For you see, you could call me now Satya, and you might be on your way of becoming this Gaia energy. But these, again, are bodies. Although they are star bodies, made up of star clusters and nebulae, and light, heat, and immense, immense cold at the same time. But they are bodies. And there is no difference between that body that you sit in right now and the body that I am sitting in. So do know that at one point, when the humanity of you becomes the divinity of you, the divine being that could name itself Gaia, or whatever, will again re-enter that process of unification with all of us, until in the end we unify again with the border itself, which would be Imzaia, and through that reunify again with that which you would call God, that which you would call Spirit, to become that totality, and to take with us, all of us, all that experience, bring that back into the divine, so that the whole is more complete than ever before. So that this reality that you are sitting in right now will be more complete than it ever before was. But again, because I won't be able to be there now when you declare that independence, I want to implore you to take with you my wisdom and my insights. I'm going to continue communicating on many different occasions in the coming weeks with those that will stand up to declare that independence. It is necessary, for otherwise you will just create a different type of separation. And that is obviously not what you seek. Is this a negative, that I will not be able to be there at that point? Yes and no. It would have been much more easy for humanity to find that strength, for I would have had the ability to show you how all things are one, how all things are connected, and how nothing can truly hurt or destroy you. So I must learn these things to you now, before that time comes. That is why a split moment of the now ago, we have decided to speak once more and to continue speaking for a while, so that next to this information about the mastery of the grand illusions, we can give you the practical yet cosmic side of all of this. And so you see a trinity, a triality is taking shape of information. On the one hand, you have that cosmic body of all of us, Adams, and his friends, that will bring you the more, how shall I say, practical side of illusion, of dealing with that. And then there will be Ekara, together with Imzaia, if he decides to speak yet again, bringing you the actual theory. And to finish up that triangle, there will be I, Satya, bringing you the cosmic side of all of it, so that you can learn, while still in the flesh, before I arrive on the planet, how you can work with being and remaining whole, holy, you see? For that is what it is all about. That is what I have to teach you now. Being whole. You think, or you might have thought, that being whole is about your body and your energy field and feeling that light as you then say it. But being whole goes way beyond that. It is an acceptance of all that is around you, although it is expressed negative sometimes. An acceptance of all that is around you as being a part of you. A total acceptance. And that is when no virus will still hurt you. No bacteria will still penetrate you. No piece of metal can enter your flesh and destroy your spirit. No words can come into you. No mind can enter into you. For you are one with it. That is what that lovely soul, Jeshua and some of the others, have called identification versus unification with external situations. You see? I am now forced and at the same time asked to teach you this through channeling. And so I will. I know that you will have the ability, although I will not be standing in front of you literally, to hear my words, to learn by example, to learn all of these things. You might also notice that since the last time we spoke, I have become more soft of tone. If I look into your brain and I listen back to the tone that I had when I last spoke in front of some of you, it is very funny to, even that word, it is very funny to hear me the way I used to be. So you see the effects that the human cosmic integration is having. Your humanity, your undying love and joy and liberty are entering into all of us. And also your humor, which in some cases is a sad, sad thing. It is funny to hear myself say these things, for the logic which is Pleiadian, which is still based on a sense of feeling, would never have gone into that arena. But there we are, enjoying ourselves. I am looking forward to breathe the air here. I am looking forward to feel the sunshine. I'm looking forward to looking all of you straight in the eye. And I don't mean the eyes. When I say looking you straight in the eye, I mean that you will no longer be playing the game that you used to play, of hiding your eye, of hiding your I am, of putting it somewhere deep within and putting all these veils around it, all those shadows around it that would dim the light that is coming out of you. You have no idea probably, but as this universe was formed and as we took our eventual place in the ascension process as Pleiadian energy, it took us a while to locate Earth again. For your light had been so dimmed with all those veils that you put around you. It is like your cars. They create these fumes, as I said before. And these are non-healthy, supposedly. But all your drama, all your mind games, as some would say it, all the mind fucking, created similar fumes around planet Earth, almost closing itself off from the higher realms so it could not be seen anymore. The work that you have been doing on planet bound, has helped to take some of those fumes, metaphorical fumes, away. You are healing the planet, but in a different way than you think. So many people think that healing the planet means looking towards the ecology. So many people think that healing the planet is about saving the animal life. But that is just all part of 3D. It is just all part of the mind game that is being played here. The actual salvation of the planet lies within you as you shine your light, as you become more aware. All the other fighting that you might do external to you is just increasing the fumes, is just increasing the illusion of separation you see. So am I then here now giving a plea to stop saving the animals? Not necessarily. I am, however, telling you that looking down that street alone will not bring you all the way home. I know so many people on planet Earth today that would shy away from this type of information. So many people that would say this is all blah blah blah. So many people that would say these are all lies. And some, I suppose, very good actors calling themselves channels, playing out these lies. Some say this. And some would say that these people have no good intent for planet Earth, but only for themselves. And that helping the Earth is looking at the real problem, they then say, the real thing that is going on. Animals are dying, children are dying, people are not having enough food and are dying. Great disease raging over this planet, raging across it. It's a perspective. It's not the perspective, however. It is not total. Trying to save that is the same as you were just trying to save a little piece of your own body. Imagine that you would have a disease raging through you, if that is still possible, if you are still in the mind, and you would go to the doctor he would tell you, I am very sorry, sir, but you have AIDS. But don't worry, we are going to heal your hand of AIDS. We are going to make sure that your left arm has no more AIDS left in it. It would not survive. It would not help the whole to survive. Merely looking at saving animals and saving those 3D aspects of humanity is the same thing. It is about integrating all of these things together. And that is why, if I had had the ability to speak, when you go towards your court system and all that, that is the plea I would have brought forward. That humanity is more than its body, and humanity is more than its mind, and humanity is more than its possessions, that the human being is in fact the entire earth. And that is why it is such a natural process to be a citizen of earth. Again, I use the reference of the hand to look at your countries and the way you are forming your countries. Saying that you only belong to a certain piece of the planet is again saying, I have this whole body here, but all that I am ever going to move is my hand. You won't do much all your life if all that is moving is your hand. That is the same thing. You see? So take with you this wisdom. Take with you this totality as you step into sovereignty. Do you know the difference between selfishness and sovereignty? And don't worry, dear keeper, it's not going to turn into a joke. Do you know the difference? Let me tell you. Selfishness, or as some people would say, I do it my way, is allowing you to still be in a small space where you are calling that part of the I, the actual I. And, as Jeshua and the others have told you, making sure that that piece of the I gets what it wants, that it can fulfill its desire. That is the freedom that lives here on planet Earth, and you have all gone through it. Just as long as I can do my thing, just as long as I can do it the way I want, that is not sovereignty. That is independence. That is selfishness. That is saying that I am but a mere piece of the totality, and within that piece I make my prison, and I make sure that my prison is better than yours. That is saying, if you are in a hotel room, for instance, with two people, and you have two beds, one bed has a perfectly nice pillow and thick sheets, and the other bed is a bad mattress, might even break in two if you move too much, and there is no pillow at all. And you come into this room, and the eyes immediately lock together, these two people. There is a conflict. And the one that is so stupid to go to the bathroom will end up with a bad bed. It happens so many times. This is just an example. That is your freedom on your planet. How can you believe that you are free as you are standing on a mountain somewhere, being so happy that you liberated yourself from the slavery that was society, and you're standing there? How can you feel free if you know that on that very same planet people are dying because they have not enough food, or people are still going through the same thing that you went through before you claimed your supposed freedom. I know because I have communicated with those light workers that would find ways of improving their circumstances. They were working in a factory, for instance, a job that they hated, and they broke away from that, and they start traveling the world, and they think that they have made it because now they are free. How can you be free if the totality is not free? How can you be free if you know that there still are people going to that workspace every single day, doing that work of slavery that you have done before? How can you be free if you are in consciousness Atlantean and you want to ascend, knowing that there are still people trapped in the mind, people that you have enslaved even? We would implore you, Atlantean, because all of you have almost been there, to do it differently this time. To look at the totality of things. For you see, that's the difference between that independence and that sovereignty. When you are sovereign, sovereign service is the point of view where your freedom includes the freedom of all. That is when the work is done. That is when the job is done. Because at that point, your entire planet is no longer in a mode of suffering. And there is peace and harmony and balance. And these things are within your grasp. It is that which you should also bring forward when you claim your sovereignty in the judicial system. Again, even though now I cannot be there physically due to circumstance, use that wisdom, use that insight, and know that I shall speak again before that time comes. Not to tell you what to do, obviously, but simply to show you what worked for us. Why do you think the Pleiadians are known as a race of healers? We do not heal by using products or pills or medication or even magnetics or energy work. We heal through totality. And that totality is a neutrality, as you have been provided with that knowledge by Ekara and others in the last few days. And then there is one last thing that I would like to say before we go on with other things. Please do not look at these 5 days, or in some cases 8 days, as a seminar. Please don't look at it as a thing that you began and that you finished. This, my fellow creator, is what 2,000 years ago, and I'm trying to ask you now not to freak out, was called the path of the apostle. For this is what it is. It is a path. That which today is called an ambassador of free energy used to have a different name in the past. And if you were to look at the Aramaic meaning of that word, apostle, it would be sovereign servant. It would be free of illusion. It would be existing within a totality of consciousness, it would vibrate similarly to I am. So you are the ambassador. Never forget that. So don't see this path as a cycle that you have now completed. It is something that if you choose to step onto it, it will continue to go on. And it is not about somebody external to you. It is about you. What is living within you. That is where the truth is. That is that totality that I know all of you are longing for. I ask you to stop longing for it. I ask you to recognize the fact that you have found it. And that all you need to do is to keep on walking. Just like all those masters did and do. That you have read about and heard from. Keep on walking. I wish that I could now show you the full scale of grandness that is my body, that is my energy. Because in doing so, maybe, just maybe, you would recognize your own. There is no difference between me and us and you, as is always. The only difference that you might create from the mind is that you need to learn from us. All you need to do is be reminded by us. The memory of your own magnificence is right there in your body. The memory of your own totality, liberty, infinity, divinity is right there in your body. And we are grateful that you have stepped on the path of this 9993111 portal. You think they would have come up with a better name. We are grateful because come out of the other side of that tunnel, end of January, you will see the results. And we can speak more clear than we ever have before. I look forward to meeting all of you in person. I look forward to this process of self-birth happening. I look forward to arriving, once again, diving deep within these lakes of illusion, and to see with supposedly my own eyes the reality that you are in. This is not something that I am doing just because I have to. It is something I do because I want to. Do you know how beautiful it is when a planet turns into a star again? That is what is happening to your Earth. That is what is happening. And a star allows itself not to exist but within one paradigm. It needs to be total. It needs to be complete. it needs to be the portal. So all of those portals have built up to the one portal that you will become. It doesn't mean that you have to totally let go of you. It just means that you have to embrace the I. And as you know, the I is the we. The totality. So as you step now onto that path, be prepared. And I'm going to tell you a last sentence that I hope will keep you awake in the days to come. Don't shy away from what you are doing. At this point in your life, nothing is more important than what you are doing right now. Nothing. I'm going to shock some, but not your house, not your cars, not your mind games, not your families, not your workplaces, not your children, not your parents. Nothing is more important. Stay awake in the knowledge that you are not stepping away from anything. For that which you think you are stepping away from is just something that you are getting closer to. And with that, my fellow creators, cosmic beings that you are, I bring you the power of holding on. I bring you the strength of your own totality. And I will tell you now that you are, that you are, that you are, that I am. And so it is.